going to welcome our first presenter. His name is Chris Palmer of BoxFox.
Aside from donating it,
Can you narrate?
leaving it in their basement, they need solutions. They just are not financially healthy. And one of the major reasons they lack financial health is very poor management of their inventory, specifically their old, dated, overstocked product. BoxFox started in 2013. A local friend of mine that owned a sporting goods store that was going out of business. And he had no options after running a clearance sale for how to get rid of the remainder of his inventory. So I stepped in and brokered a deal between him and another business, and that went extremely well. Both parties were happy, and then I figured out that there are actually 700,000 similarly sized small and mid-sized retail companies with the same problem of just limited ways to move surplus merchandise.
Hey guys, I'm Chris. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm just thankful that you guys came out as well. I hate to be the bearer of bad news though. Have you guys seen how many people are dying out there? It's like a graveyard. And what I'm talking about is friends like this. Yeah, that was like one of my favorite stores. They're gone, no more. And like this. I nearly cried. This was really bad news for Indianapolis. And this. So 2017 is officially the retail apocalypse. But it's not just the big brands. It's actually small operators as well. So the small guys, they're dropping like flies just as fast as the big ones. And the question we have to ask ourselves on all these companies is why? Is Amazon seriously slaughtering everyone so badly? Yeah, pretty much, that's happening. But there are a variety of reasons that this is all happening. And the one that all of these bankrupted companies now share is poor inventory management. This is a clearance table on that slide previously. We've all seen them before. Basically, a retailer throws a bunch of stuff on a table, marks the price way down, and hopes that it sells real quickly. Sometimes it works, but more often than not, it doesn't turn out that way. Let me introduce you to a friend. This is Ron. Ron is a stellar dude and a good friend. However, he's a lot of clearance product. He runs a sporting goods store that runs around $1.5 million in revenue. But when Ron has too much clearance inventory that does not sell, he just literally drives to Goodwill and drops it off. This costs Ron $50,000 in losses every year, and so many other stores just like his. Collectively, US retail has $250 billion in overstock inventory every year. And their solutions aren't sufficient. They mark it down in the store, which only works to an extent. They return it to the vendor, but that's limited. There are caps. They also donate it, like Ron does, but it's kind of like throwing money out the window. And then the last thing is they try to sell themselves online. But this is extremely tedious, distracting, and it almost always breaks vendor contracts. What's left is billions of dollars of unsold, aging inventory. But thankfully, we have rallied a team to save the day. Before tackling this problem at BoxFox, I started 5 years ago an e-commerce business called SupplyKick that today is a thriving 8-figure business. Michael sold a previous company for $10 million, and collectively our team has decades of experience in retail, e-commerce, software, and marketplaces. I'd like to introduce BoxFox. BoxFox provides a B2B platform where businesses can buy, sell, and appraise their overstock retail inventory. We have software algorithms that automatically identifies what someone has, promotes it on our marketplace, and looks up over 80 million items. So we've got a catalog that's very deep. All we do as a marketplace is we facilitate trades between businesses. We never touch any inventory, but the value we provide is we give a retailer that's selling product a way to reduce their inventory level, recover cash quickly by selling their products in bulk to other businesses. So it's B2B trade. The way you upload inventory for sale is either by a list on our website or use our iOS app to scan the barcodes. The iOS app identifies products appraises them, and then allows you to automatically list them for sale. We're funded by 10% transaction fees on every order. We also manage shipping between parties when they're buying or selling bulk goods. And we just recently implemented SaaS revenue as well for advanced analytical tools requested by larger customers. These now make up actually 20% of our company's revenue. Our sellers sell footwear, clothing, toys, games, electronics, all categories with an emphasis, though, in sporting goods. As a multi-sport athlete, it was a natural starting point, and it's a big market. Our buyers are across the world, and they're in a mixture of online, offline, and liquidation-type companies. We have 10,000 businesses on our platform in just over 2 years of being live, including 1 out of every 5 running stores across America. We've transacted over $10 million in retail value of products. We have raised this $1 million seed round from investors like Paul Singh, Mark Hill, and founders of Finish Line. We were named Innovators of the Year last year by Sporting Goods Business Magazine. We won a Mirror Award for Rising Star and first place at Startup Chile Demo Day. We'd love for you to either buy or sell with us if our platform can provide you value. Also love if you have any interest in online retail, brick and mortar e-commerce, hang out with us. I started a meetup called E-commerce Indie Monthly that meets downtown. And then lastly, our office expansion is going to have a ping pong club inside as well as a small coffee shop and bar. So we'd love for you to come play ping pong. So retailers, way too many of them are losing. BoxFox is going to help them win. Thank you.
That's fun.
Okay, I'm not going to get in the way of the question and asking between every pitch, but it's now time to ask some questions. And we'll just go left to right the first time, and then we'll go right to left the second time, and then we'll go left to right once again.
Chris, great presentation. So as you were presenting, I was wondering, the sellers, the people who have the extra goods, okay, the buyers, are there a sea of buyers just out there trying to connect to these sellers? At first I was thinking, how many buyers would there actually be? But
yeah, the biggest buyer that everybody's probably heard of, not on our marketplace, but in this category is TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross. So those are huge discount stores that buy huge volume. We've had no problem finding buyers. It used to be that we had more sellers than buyers, but now buyers outnumber sellers twice.
Great.
So Chris, great delivery. I was watching the presentation and you kind of went through all the big things I would have asked you about. I clearly understood the problem and I got the market size and the business model, and I loved hearing about the team backgrounds. The question I'm sure you get quite often, and I'd love to hear more about, is what are you doing that nobody else can easily replicate? What's your competitive advantage?
The network that we've built has been impossible to do with just technology. It's been through regular relationship building efforts at trade shows. And visits to people's cities. So one of the customers up there that's actually a seller is the largest Amazon seller in all of America. And that relationship was only possible by me visiting them on the West Coast and really getting to build a relationship. So relationships are highly defensible, as well as nobody else does the appraisal piece, the Kelley Blue Book of retail. It's easy to create a marketplace for buying and selling, but if nobody knows what anything's worth, it's really difficult to do successful deals.
And she was checking off all the boxes. So
Good.
with respect to these retailers, they must use some sort of POS, inventory management. Maybe the more sophisticated ones are using sort of price optimization or markdown optimization. Who do you integrate with to make yourself really sticky? It seems like that's a logical integration step for you, but I'm curious as to, is that on your roadmap? Is that something you do currently?
The first two on our roadmap are one here locally in our backyard called Rick's Software, and then another one called Lightspeed. Together they have close to 30,000 retailers on their platform. The problem is data can be really a bird's nest sometimes, and so integrating is not an easy task. There's just been lower hanging fruit for us, so we're not currently integrated with anyone on the point of sale level, but it's one of our fastest ways to scale up the company by tapping into somebody else's existing customer base and being native in the screen that these retailers are looking at day in, day out. We've got the ability to throw notifications and say, hey, this product is 90 days old. It's worth $2,000 on BoxFox. Would you like to sell it now? So that's down the road for us. It's a great direction to head, but we're not currently accomplished any of those integrations.
So it feels like you've got two major market segments, small independent businesses and then maybe larger businesses that are franchises of larger corporations. Small businesses are notoriously hard to market to. How do you scale up from where you are with that?
We've recently taken rather than a sales approach where we have to win a prospect every time, we've taken a one-to-many approach by leading webinars and having more of our own content and then earning press in the right places. We win at this game if every player knows about us, not just if a little subset. We really need the entire retail industry to know that we exist and to trust us as a platform for trade. So we put a recent emphasis on generating content that's going to be shareable across retail influencing sites.
Let's give it up for Chris. I am not a very fancy dude, but I have never built a $10 million business in shorts. And he makes it look good. It fits him perfectly. Thank you, sir.